Good morning, class. Today we're going to continue with Aunt Jennifer's Tigers. So yesterday we had just done an introduction about the poem, right? And so today we just will do a detailed understanding of it, stanza-wise, right? So what about Aunt Jennifer's Tigers? Why is the poem named such? It is because Aunt Jennifer, who symbolizes all the married women, she has she has undergone a lot of problems in her life. She's been dominated throughout her life by the male in her family, right? So here, yes, there's a reference to uncle, and otherwise also, yes, it is about the other males who have been there in her life, right? So we talk about the brothers, fathers, and all the relatives there, right? So I've been dominating her, and this has happened right through her married life. And she has become so meek, so timid, so terrified that it is quite surprising to see that a woman who has never raised her voice, who has never spoken for herself, gathers the courage to embroider tigers. In a way, yes, it does show her longing, her desire to be strong, to be brave. And she wants that people should listen to her, people should pay attention to her, and she should not just be, yes, a part of the surroundings, but someone who has a voice, who's able to speak, who's able to express the feelings. And that is what Aunt Jennifer. So it's very surprising that amidst all these circumstances, she's gathered the courage. Although it's a big difficulty for her, as we read that how the fingers are like her hand keeps on fluttering as she tries to embroider the needle, what the tigers on the panel that she has made. Okay, all of you, yes, please look at your books now. And we'll go through it stanza-wise. Yes, so do you have your books? Right. So come on now, let's, I'll share the screen with you all and we'll continue with the poem here. So let's start here. Yes, please take a look at the screen and write down in your books. What does the title of the poem suggest to you? Are you reminded of other poems on tigers? Yeah, so in your earlier classes, you have read a poem. If you remember in class 10, Tiger in the Zoo. Yes. So, and other poems that you might have read. And in class 10th earlier, there was this chapter, Mrs. Packertide's Tiger, right? So that was also about shooting the tiger and how Mrs. Packardide, for her vanity and for her pride, how she shot those tigers, right? So here, Aunt Jennifer, as I told you, yes, it is quite surprising here when we read the poem that Aunt Jennifer, the tigers that she has made, these tigers are on a panel. She has embroidered these tigers. They are her needlework. They are her creativity. And it is very surprising considering the circumstances that she lives in. She has been dominated by the male in her family. And now here, right, so it is maybe a way for her to express the hidden desire in her to be courageous, to be brave. The tigers for her are a symbol of courage, of strength. They are very confident, very brave, and they evoke respect and fear among humans also. And Aunt Jennifer wants to be maybe like the tigers. She wants man to look at her, to realize that she is important, right? But she has been there controlled by man. She's been controlled by her husband in her married life. And therefore, gathering this courage, and even though her fingers are fluttering, she has been able to make these tigers. That is why these tigers are very, very significant. Yes, so let's look at the poem. Aunt Jennifer's tiger springs across a screen. What's the screen? The panel, the cloth where she has made these tigers. So she's embroidered them. And yes, they prance across the screen. They seem to be full of life, and how very lively and how beautifully she has embroidered them. Bright topaz denizens of a world of green. Topaz, the color of the tiger, the orange gold color. And where do these tigers live? In the world of green. So these colors here, the colors which are there of the tiger and the world of the tiger. So where does the tiger live? He is very territorial. He's very proud of the area in which he lives, right? Snarling and growling and marking his territory. And is there bright topaz denizens of a world of green. So they are inhabitants of the jungle, right? And yes, they're very proudly marking their territory. They do not fear the men beneath the tree. They pace in sleek, chivalric certainty. So maybe Aunt has made more to this, like embroidery, this needlework that she's done. There are trees, there's man over there. And here, what is it that she has shown? That the tigers are so brave, they are not afraid of man. And they go on walking confidently in their majestic, in their respectful, courteous manner. Chivalric certainty. Now look at here, yes, so we have they do not fear the men beneath the tree, they face and seek chivalric certainty. We have they repeated in 2 consecutive lines. What is this device called? Yes, what is it called? The repetition of the word in 2 words, the successive lines. Anaphora, please note it down. Please note it down. Right? And topaz is the color of the tiger. Green is his habitat. Yeah? Pace, walking, prancing. Right? Of course, full of life, full of energy. So these are words of movement. Prancing, pacing, sleek, also very, like majestically, royally, chivalric certainty, with that confidence and commanding respect. Is this clear? Is this stanza clear to all of you? Yes? So, right, so what are the colors here mentioned? We have topaz and we have green. Topaz is of the tiger and green is its habitat, right? Men are there, but yes, what is the tiger's reaction to the men? Is it afraid of them? No, the tiger is not afraid of the men, right? And he goes on walking, prancing in his habitat. Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering through her wool find even the ivory needle hard to pull. The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering through her wool. Fluttering, shaking, right? She doesn't have that much courage. She doesn't have that much of strength to pull the needle. Fluttering, shaking. What is the device of here? Fingers fluttering. So there's a repetition of the consonant sound. What is that called? Alliteration. Please note it down. Alliteration. Yeah, write it on your books. Yes. Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering through her wool find even the ivory needle hard to pull. What is ivory? Yes, ivory is the material of which the needle is made. The ivory, yes, you get from the tusks of the elephant. So you have these needles of ivory also. She's using for making her embroidery. Find even the ivory needle hard to pull. Why is she finding it so difficult to pull this very light needle? What is there that is making things so difficult for her? What is it there, like on her finger that it is very difficult for her to carry on with her needlework? So why are her fingers shaking? Why are they fluttering? The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. So this huge weight on her hand. What is that weight? That weight is of the wedding band, Uncle's wedding band. Okay, so we're talking about Aunt Jennifer who's symbolizing all the women who suffer in the marital life. We're talking about uncle, the male dominated, or the male dominating aunt's life, right? The very dominating husbands were there. And yes, so the massive weight, both things are not so heavy. But because of Aunt Jennifer's experiences in her life, so because right, so we talk about the needle, we talk about the wedding band. They're not heavy. But what has made them heavy? The circumstances she is in, the life she is leading. So even these simple things have become very heavy for her. And the wedding band, what does it symbolize? What does it symbolize? The problems, or you can say the sufferings that she has had in her marital life. So she suffered a lot. And the band, there it is, there, like a constant reminder of the life that she is living, constant reminder of uncle's presence in her life. These are the ordeals, these are the sufferings, these are the restrictions, these are the boundaries, these are the limits that have been set for her, right? And yes, it is very, very surprising that in spite of all the burdens, the restrictions, the pain that she has undergone through, she gathers courage to make these tigers. Yes, as one of you have said, it is maybe her rebellious desire. Definitely it is there, right? She wants to be like the tiger. She wants man to be afraid of her. And where did she gather the courage from? That is the amazing thing. So that means deep inside her, there is a lot of courage. There's a lot of strength. But who has taken that strength away? Yes? Who's taken it away? Man has taken it away, right? He has set boundaries, he sets limits, he's decided that this is the way you're going to live. This is how you're going to live your life. And so it is very difficult for her to come out of those boundaries, of those restrictions, right? So what does a wedding band symbolize? Her marital status, the suffering, the problems that she has gone through. And the needle also, it is there. Yes, it's a strength, it's a desire to come out of the situation. And yes, the fingers fluttering, it is going to take a lot of effort, to take a lot of courage to make these tigers, which are there, yes, symbolic of the strength of her courage, right? Sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. So very light ring, right? The wedding band that she's wearing, the gold ring that she's wearing. But yes, it is very heavy on her finger because as the married life begins, the life of the woman changes a lot. So many expectations, so many hopes, and do this and don't do that, right? So it is there, the boundaries and the limits which she has been confined within. When aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie. Still ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing proud and unafraid. When aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie. Why will her terrified hands, even after the death? Because she had suffered so much, it seems that even a soul is going to be shaken by those sufferings, right? The spirit might not be free. So even then, after death also, her hands would be terrified. Terrified by what? By the ordeals. What are the ordeals? Ordeals are the sufferings, the terrible experiences, the problems that she had in her married life. Ringed. Here it is ringed. Ringed. Yahan pe kya hai ringed? Ringed is surrounded. She will be surrounded. Her hands would be surrounded. She was mastered by, controlled by. Who controlled her? Uncle controlled her. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing proud and unafraid. But see, even after her death, she will not be liberated because her soul has been, you can say, controlled, and she will not have the courage to come out of all the sufferings and the ordeals and the problems that she had faced in her married life. She will still be ringed with ordeals. So ring here, the wedding band is what? What is a wedding band? It's a symbol of a marital status. What is ringed here? Ringed is surrounded. What are the ordeals? Ordeals are the sufferings, the problems. And of course, in contrast to Aunt Jennifer, that even after death, she would be surrounded by, carry on all, it would be there along with her, even in her grave, the sufferings that she went through. But yes, the tigers, they will carry on, they will live on, and they will have that courage, that spirit of freedom that she wanted, that she made, will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. Right? Prancing, yes, so walking very swiftly, confidently, proud and unafraid. The tigers there, no, they are not afraid of anybody, and least of all, man. And in fact, it's the other way down. Man is afraid of the tigers. So we'll go on prancing, proud, and unafraid. So prancing and proud is, once again, what is it? Alliteration. Okay, so is this poem clear to you all? Let's have a look at you all and let me see. Yes, okay, yeah, the ring thing. Let's have a look at the paragraph. We have doubts over here. Which paragraph? Which stanza, sorry? Yes, last one? Okay. Now here, look at this second stanza. The massive weight of uncle's wedding band. Where's the band? On her finger. What does this band symbolize? Her marital status. M-A-R-I-T-A-L. Marital. Okay, her married status. She's a married woman. And of course, life has changed a lot for her, and she does not have that freedom. She does not have, the liberty to do what she wants. She's controlled by the very dominating male in her life, that is uncles. The wedding band. Okay. Now here, still ringed. What is ringed? Even though the wedding band is not there on her hands after her death, been removed, right? But what is still there surrounding her? What is ringed over here? Surrounded by, right? Okay. So just see the use of the word ringed, her ring finger, and she's been ringed with the ordeals. So she is surrounded by the problems, the suffering. So even after her death, she has not been liberated, right? Okay, so she will, yes, her hands will still be terrified. So even though the wedding band has been removed, but they have been so terrified throughout her life that even after death, she will not have courage to escape from that ordeal or the sufferings that she has undergone. Yes, okay, right. Yes, just say wedding band, here it depends on the situation that you are. It is supposed to be a symbol of love. It's supposed to be a symbol of union. It is supposed to be a symbol of something which is a very beautiful institution. But not everyone is lucky, right? So here it has been shown. This poem, as I had discussed yesterday, it is about women empowerment. It's about equality. It's about freedom, right? And it is telling us about the married life of a woman, that how it changes. Wedding band, as you rightly said, it should be something which she should be very happy wearing, right? But what has happened here? Yes, her ring is a symbol of the sufferings that she's undergoing. For her, it is not a symbol of love and affection and care, but it is something that she wants to get rid of. But such is the impact, of the dominance of uncle in her life, that even after death, she's not able to come out of it. The sufferings have been so deep, that impact has been so deep on her. Then look at her, how she's doing the simple act of pulling the wool. She's pulling the needle. And as she's doing that, what's happening to her hand? And like, of course, here the poet has emphasized it is like the right hand, right? And so she's pulling the needle and her fingers are shaking because the wedding band. And so she has gathered that much courage to express her desire, to express her thought, and she's made this animal which is very uncharacteristic of her. She's made this animal which is so different from her. And maybe one day she will gather the courage to change the situation of her marriage. But as we read in the last stanza, it's too late. That even after her death, she's going to be surrounded. So here it is, once again, Adrienne Rich. She was the voice of feminism, right? For the equality of women. And here it is, maybe, yes, it is highlighting the issues, things that we don't even bother about, right? Yes, and of course, men, they feel so happy that, see, we're giving you this status in society. We're giving you money and power and wealth. What more do you want? There's much more than that. There's respect. There's equality. There's freedom. There is that dignity which every woman deserves. And there are very few people, who are able to come out and speak of their circumstances. So this is, yes, highlighting the condition of women. There are many women suffering and they want that freedom. And there are ways that they have expressed that desire to be brave, to be free, to come out of that bonding and out of those shadows. Okay, right? This is clear? Yes? Any doubts, anyone? Any questions? Any doubts? Any questions? It's a beautiful poem, right? And yes, first stanza of the poetic device. Please look at it. Yes, tell me now. They do not fear the men beneath the tree. They pace in sleek, chivalric certainty. They is anaphora. Okay, do you find any alliteration over here? Tell me, is there alliteration? Pace in sleek, chivalric certainty. Of course, so we're not doing that kind of alliteration. Okay, so we'll just leave it over there. Right. So what are the symbols used over here? What are the symbols in this poem? What are the symbols here? Okay, turn to the next page. Let's just go through the questions also side by side. How do denizens and chivalric add to our understanding of the tiger's attitude? The first stanza here, we have, yes, the bright topaz denizens of a world of green. It is, they're showing their habitat, showing their appearance, the beautiful color that they have. Yes. And what about chivalric? What is chivalric? How are we able to understand the tigers better? That yes, they are also there in the area that they live. They command a lot of respect, right? So the bright color, which is, yes, their unique identity, and the way they walk, the position that they have, in the jungle, or we talk about in the ecosystem, it immediately commands respect. Yes, so naturally here, it is a creature everyone is afraid of and looks at with great awe. And yeah, in the walk, the way they walk, that confidence that they have, that strength they have, the courage that they have. And see, Aunt Jennifer desiring that. Yes, she wants that courage. She wants that respect. Yes. So they help us to understand the tigers even better, the words that she has used. Do you sympathize with Aunt Jennifer? What is the attitude of the speaker towards Aunt Jennifer? Yes, do you sympathize with Aunt Jennifer? Do you sympathize with her? Do you understand her situation? Yes, we do understand her situation, that how much courage she must have mustered to